I'm very curious myself to know what would happen if I took the substance. What kind of version of me or some sort of version of me would come out since I'm already so awesome. Could you imagine all of this times two, times three, times four? But just like everything in life, everything comes at a cost. Hello, my beautiful people. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're here to talk about the biggest WTF movie of the year,
The Substance.
a movie about the dangers of chasing immortal youth and not coming to terms with the inevitability of age. Why people try to fight the process of life? You ain't never gonna win. Since the substance is green, why don't I change it to a bit of green? Yeah. Quick synopsis out of the way. This tells the story of Elizabeth Sparkle, played very well by Demi Moore, an aging fitness celebrity at the tail end of her illustrious career, who is more or less discarded while the studio she works for looks for a hotter, younger, slimmer replacement. And the studio head, who's played by Dennis Quaid, he does a very good job for what he's given. He knows exactly the character he needs to play. And whenever he shows up, it's always in a zoomed in manner. And it actually feels like he's invading your personal space without your consent. Whenever he showed up, it's always like you're looking at the screen like this. It's like, bro, take two steps back, why don't you? Appreciated that stylistic choice. And all props to Demi Moore, she looked good for her age. I mean, definitely on the MILF top 10 list. So when Demi Moore's character is told about this elixir called
The Substance.
she sees it as a solution to all her problems. And when she tries it, a beautiful, sexy, eager specimen is birthed, played very appropriately by Margaret Qualley, not knowing that you always have to be careful what you wish for. This movie is a heck of a lot of fun if you can stomach it. That's a definite disclaimer for this movie. It's good if you can stomach it. Because this movie swings for the fences, especially in the finale. But I'm getting ahead of myself. This movie is definitely an allegory for what it's like to be in Hollywood or show business in general. Heck, life. Everybody's willing to throw away what was to make way for what is, if doing so increases revenue, profits, and those sweet, sweet dollar bills. The world is a cutthroat place, and in this movie, they're showing you what it's like to be old and unwanted in show business. And how much that can affect someone's psyche when that's all they've known their entire life. And the crazy lengths they will go to stay relevant for as long as possible. I guarantee you, if the substance was actually available in today's world, people would abuse the out of it. Because human beings are vain creatures and they want to be loved above all. And if it comes at a hefty cost, so be it. But that's where I become confused in this story just a little. When Demi Moore takes the substance and Margaret Qualley comes out of her back in a gnarly scene, that is not Demi Moore's consciousness now in Margaret Qualley's body. They are both two different people with two different consciousness. Is that how you say it? Consciousness? Consciousness? Consciousness. You know what I mean. They both act independently, so when Margaret Qualley starts to enjoy her success, Demi Moore doesn't reap the benefits in any way. Quite the contrary. It takes a heavy, horrific toll on her. Heavy. The only solace Demi Moore gets is knowing that she, in a messed up way, gave birth to this younger, beautiful, most sexy entity, you can call it at this point, and really nothing else. And one aspect of this movie that I found interesting, in most movies of old, no pun intended, is that it's always the older one trying to suck out all the youth from the younger one, like with Snow White and the Witch. In this one, it's the younger one destroying the younger one to stay young and sexy for as long as possible. That was an intriguing aspect that stood out to me. And when it comes to the substance, there are rules that you need to follow. And if you don't, woo-hoo! After Margaret Qualley is birthed after coming out of Demi Moore's back, it's like a backbone joke in there. She can only be out and about for 7 days, and then she has to let Demi Moore come back and to let her be around for 7 days. And Margaret Qualley has to take a stabilizer. Stabilizer? She has to take a stabilizer, ma'am. And what is a stabilizer, you ask? It's spinal fluid extracted from the host, Demi Moore, so she can stay nice and youthful and not fall apart. And if Margaret Qualley's character sticks to the rules about swapping out every 7 days, she will almost have an endless supply of it, and everything will be hunky-dory for the both of them. But what are human beings almost always guilty of? Exactly. Wanting so much more. Because when Margaret Qualley's character becomes more famous and more popular, the more she doesn't want to let Demi Moore's character come back to civilization. The way she sees it, she's got more of a life to live anyways. that means she needs more spinal fluid. When you go past the 7-day mark, added to that, taking more spinal fluid than you are supposed to, let's just say it leaves the host a little worse for wear. To put it simply, why can't people just stick to the instructions they are given?
Rules are meant to be broken!
Damn right they are! So when Margaret Qualley's character finally lets Demi Moore's character come up for a little breather, Demi Moore finds out just how self-absorbed her better half really is. Because when you take more spinal fluid than you should, the host starts to, for a lack of a better word, start decaying with no remedy in sight. And at this point is told the only way she can make it stop is to terminate Margaret Qualley. I'm having a hard time saying Margaret Qualley all the time. Her character's name is Sue. So I'm going to call her Sue. It's easier for me. So now the smart thing for Demi Moore's character would be to terminate Sue. Therefore, Sue can't take any more spinal fluid because she's becoming selfish with it. So now if Demi Moore terminates Sue, she will not be able to extract any more spinal fluid, which is basically her life force at this point. And things can go back to some form of normalcy. This movie doesn't know the meaning of the word normal. And that's when Demi Moore comes to her senses and decides enough is enough with this hullabaloo. I want my life back and I don't want Sue to end up taking more spinal fluid than I can bear to lose. And Demi Moore thinks about it and then makes the right decision. Just kidding. Just kidding. Demi Moore gets too enticed with the fact that Sue came from her and is reaping the rewards of youth. And I guess believes that she is living vicariously through her the same way parents live vicariously through their children. Oh, mama. But in this case, the child is a stranger that doesn't give two shits about you and will use you by any means necessary to further her personal success, even if it means withering you to the point where you don't even recognize yourself anymore. Every choice in life has consequences. Because the first time Demi Moore had a finger decay, the second time her foot and a little bit more, but by the end, holy shit. She comes back looking like a cross between Quasimodo from The Hunchback of Notre Dame, that thing from 300, and Seth Brendel from The Fly. Seriously, when I saw her after that last transformation, my first thought was, oh, she would be a perfect match for Seth Brendel in The Fly. They can be a match made in some twisted form of body horror Tinder. Disgusting. You can definitely tell that the director of this movie has a love for David Cronenberg's body horror style of filmmaking and is showing her appreciation for his work with her own gore-tastic eye on the genre. So after Demi Moore's character comes back looking like she wouldn't get a match on any dating site, she has that aforementioned opportunity to stop it and live whatever life left she has to live. Sad to say it's going to be indoors, mostly. And at this pivotal moment, she just can't bring herself to do it. And those consequences come back to bite Demi Moore in the because Sue just goes apeshit at the very thought that Demi Moore would end her beautiful, lovely, sexy, successful life and throttles the ever-living shit out of Demi Moore. She holds nothing back. Sometimes children can be so bloody ungrateful. That's when Sue finds out she royally effed up. Because when the host is dead, their bodily fluids tend to cease production permanently. The ones that matter, at least. And that's when Sue gets the bright idea to inject herself with some leftover substance, hoping for I don't know what outcome. Definitely not the outcome that ends up happening. Because if you thought that a spinal fluidless Demi Moore was messed up, wait till you get a load of her. I guess one of the unwritten rules is that you can't inject yourself with the substance if you yourself came from the substance, otherwise you give birth to something that lacks any substance. That's what happens when you don't read the terms and conditions. That shit will get you every time. It's always in the fine details. The thing I appreciate most about this movie is that it holds nothing back. It wants to do whatever it wants to do, and if you don't like it, just don't watch it. And it made this viewer very glued to the screen. A movie that ended up on my radar because of the stupendous word of mouth, talking about the absurdity of it. And I don't know about you, but when people start describing a movie with, God damn, this movie is crazy. Holy hell, it's disgusting. You have people coming out of people's back. You have contorted ghouls walking around. Blah. And the characters are doing this shit willingly? Let's just say,
you had my curiosity, but now you have my attention.
And this movie has everything dialed up to 11. If they're trying to make something or someone look old and aging, They play with the lighting and makeup to make sure that you see both ends of the spectrum when it comes to age. They want to show you how young and youthful someone is. They always put them under the best lights, with their skin being almost fluorescent and blemish-free. If you're old, they're emphasizing every wrinkle, every droop, every piece of cellulite. And if you're young, they are propelling every curve, every strand of luscious hair, and all the vanity that comes with knowing that you are the hottest one in the room. The discrimination is in full effect. And all of that is brought to life with the vibrant neon-like cinematography. This movie's cinematography, the overall vibe and look, is like watching a 2-hour music video. Every color pops and the contrast knob is turned all the way up. And also anything that will look better with oil on it, best believe they're gonna throw more oil on it. Exploitation of the highest order. Funny how nobody gets up in arms when a female director does it, but when a male director even hints at it, you sexist, misogynistic, insensitive pig. Equality. The director's a French lady. They don't give a good goddamn about what you think. I'm sorry, I'm French. I don't care about your feelings. All of you people are very sensitive over here. Yes, everyone is too sensitive, and you should make the movie that you want to make. And how this movie crescendos is bloody ridiculous. And I'm all for it. When this thing shows up towards the end and has its last act on stage, it goes balls to the wall. The amount of blood that ends up being sprayed, poured, doused all over the audience is downright comical. The best way to describe it, because I definitely can't show it, just imagine all the blood from the hallway scene from The Shining being redirected some way, somehow to the stage where this pretty thing is. And when all that blood is finished, everybody in the audience gets their own individual bucket of pig's blood poured all over them, Carrie style. And everyone is running, slipping, falling. It kind of looked like some of them were laughing, if my memory serves me well. I don't even blame them. If I was one of those extras, I'm like, I'm getting paid for this? I'm getting paid to roll and run around in all this blood? Hell yeah! The only thing missing from that scene is if somebody was to start screaming.
Wet t-shirt party!
Ah, wow, I have a sick mind. To anybody that isn't turned away by gore, blood, and disgusting body horror deformities, this movie is sure to keep you very, very bloody engaged. Pun intended. And if it definitely doesn't bother you, you might actually be screaming at the screen, more, more! That's if everyone is demented as I am. So those are my thoughts on The Substance 2024. For what this movie is, I thoroughly enjoyed it. As for rating, how do you even rate this thing? I would give it a 8.1 out of 10. There are some of my friends who have not seen this movie yet, and I can't wait to watch it with them and just see their face contort and be like, ugh, what? Oh my God, what is this? How could you recommend this? I try to enjoy life's simple pleasures sometimes. Until next time, my beautiful people, stay safe, enjoy life, embrace the unknown, and as always, peace, love, and I'll see you when I see you.